Hanoi was the starting point of a very long journey. For almost 2 months, I was riding my motorbike through the north of Vietnam, trying to discover every hidden corner of the country and its history. From Cat Ba, an amazing island with unreal landscape, which served as a base for the North Vietnamese army during the Vietnam War that started in 1955 and ended in 1975. It is particularly known for its secret hospital cave, a bomb-proof medical facility and safe house for the Viet Cong leaders. Then riding through the northeast to Cao Bang, an area shaped by many conflicts with the Chinese and later the French colonial time. Continuing all the way to the Chinese border to a place where Ho Chi Minh, the founder of modern Vietnam, was hiding in a cave for years. It was his headquarters to establish the Vietnamese revolutionary movement. From there, the road was leading to Ha Giang, Sapa, and finally all the way along the Ho Chi Minh Trail to the Demilitarized Zone. Passing the starting point, the kilometer zero of the trail. Along it are one of the most remote areas in Vietnam. It's just jungle for hours, and some cool waterfalls here and there. The Ho Chi Minh Trail was the main artery for moving troops and supplies from North to South Vietnam during the war. And now, we're riding on it to Khe Sanh. Guys, check this out. I've just found this door, which leads into a hidden cave. Let's go check it out. This is very likely still from the war times. So they built this wall here. It's quite dark in here. But you can clearly tell that people were hiding in this cave. Wow, impressive. Look at that thick wall. Man, this cave is really hidden. I'm surprised that I saw it while driving with the motorbike. Quite fast on this big road here. That is a cool cave. This is exactly why you drive with a motorbike, because then you can just stop when you see these things. You know, you see how hidden it is? But you see it and you can stop. It's perfect. We're heading now to a military base left behind by the Americans. Or I'm not sure if it's a military base, it's just a museum now, where you can find a lot of left behind aircrafts by the US. And this is the place we checked in right now. Retro. With a very cool view. Maybe like 3 minutes out of Khe Sanh town, with the center. Let's head to the military base. Ciao. We're now at the Air Force Relic Museum in Khe Sanh. This is the entrance. Ah, ciao. Can we get 2 tickets?
Oh yeah.
2 tickets. How much is the ticket?
50,000 dong each.
50,000 dong. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you have the old choppers of the Americans, which they left behind. Damn. Just imagine these helicopters and planes flying over Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia and just dropping bombs. I mean, on average 7 times, like once every 7 minutes. Check this out. There's some information. It's like 8,000 kilograms heavy. Maximum speed 200 kilometers per hour. Man, that's not heavy for such a big chopper. Yeah, it's like it's a very thin material. Look how thin. Slippery. Oh, my cool. So this is all part of the US military base. It was based here in Khe Sanh. That's a pretty epic thing to check out. Now they have some tanks over there. Yeah, this is the entrance. But it's locked. These buildings and those tunnels and the bunkers is all rebuilt by the Vietnamese in order to showcase how it was during the war. Because the whole military base got destroyed. Damn. So they just rebuilt it for the museum. And only the planes, helicopters, tanks, and bombs that they found are original. This is a big network. Check this out. So much. So many bunkers. Oh, get big. US Air Force. Everything's locked up. US bomb. Wow. So these are exploded bombs. Check this out. Holy fuck. And these are all unexploded bombs. And there you have the Demilitarized Zone. Going along the 17th parallel. So we are currently in this area. Ciao. And some old shots from the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Wow. Military base on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. So the people in this region were fighting with these weapons against the Americans. With the completely advanced weapons. Like for example, an M60. That's insane. Locals were using elephants for transportation, while the US troops arrive in tanks and an endless amount of choppers. Man, I think only here, or just here, you have about 500 graves. This is insane. And then they also built this temple to worship more or less all the lost soldiers. Yeah, so now this, you can say, the central part now in Vietnam has the most war history since the, South Vietnamese, backed up by the Americans, were fighting the North Vietnamese, backed by China and the Soviet Union, and especially in this central part of Vietnam, you had so many battles, so many brutal battles. Yeah, so the Americans left behind a military base here, which they said they gave up the base, and the North Vietnamese said they conquered the base. Would make more sense if the North Vietnamese conquered the base, since it was a very strategic location here, directly on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, where you had all the supplies coming from the north to the south. And this is the monument that was built for the soldiers in memories of the very brutal Khe Sanh War. There you have it, Khe Sanh. So this is how you write it. It's also very close to the border of Laos. Yeah, since the Ho Chi Minh Trail was just leading through these countries as well, like Laos and Cambodia. Hello. We are now more or less directly at the Vietnam-Lao border. You can see the mountain over there. That's already Laos. And right here, you have a prison that was built before the, Vietnam War times, or the American War. Check this out. So this was not part of the famous American War. This was before the time. That was around the year 1908. And at that time it was one of the biggest prisons in Vietnam. Damn. So you have multiple cells here. You have one here. We have another one that broke down over there. Another one over there. And over there you have still small cells that are in relatively good conditions. Let's go check it out. See,
these buildings completely collapsed. So that is a cell that is over 100 years old. This is the bed. Oh, there's not much light coming in. It's freaking dark in here. Also, no window on the door. Oh, this is tough. Getting imprisoned here. Man, look how many they have. Yeah, and this part, the building is already collapsing as well. They're trying to save as much as they can. So this is the river that is separating Laos and Vietnam. So we're in the Vietnam side, and just over there is Laos. And this is a very sketchy part right now, because it feels like as if people are just like bringing goods over the river, like smuggling. Looks very sketchy here.
Since we have explored some of the history around Khe Sanh now, it is time to drive to another part of the Demilitarized Zone.
We have made it back to the coast, guys, where you have the famous Vinh Moc Tunnels. So we're gonna explore this for the next hour or so. There's a proper tunnel system of about maybe 2 kilometers, somewhere here. Let's go check it out. There you have a bomb crater. Look at the size of this thing. There's another one. Absolutely massive.
The Vinh Moc Tunnels were one of the greatest technical achievements in the 20th century and one of the most glorious victories of humanity in the struggle for survival. From 1964 to 1972, the American Army dropped more than 500,000 tons of bombs of all kinds. 686,867 tons. On average, each person in this area suffers from around 7 tons of bombs and 10 cannons. 5,117 people were killed. 4,200 were injured. More than 15,000 roofs were burned. 113 educational and health facilities were destroyed.
So these are the types of bombs that the US dropped on Vinh Linh, the region here. Their goal was to make this land here a dead land with no person living here anymore. So it was like cluster bombs, drilling bombs, napalm bombs, everything you can think of. They dropped it here. It's absolutely crazy. Right, let's head into the tunnels. We have the first entrance out of 13 entrances.
The Vinh Moc Tunnels were more than just a shelter. These tunnels served as a military outpost and supply base for the nearby Con Co Island and the southern front lines. So it was a very strategic place for the Vietnamese to hold, to supply all the surrounding areas and soldiers.
There we have the meeting room. Let's see. Meow meow.
Meow, meow.
Meow. Where's the meeting room? Dat is een loch. Dat is een kugel. Ja. Ja. This looks like the toilet. So we entered at entrance number 6, at entrance number 5, and here's entrance number 6. And you can see there you have the ocean. So you have 7 entrances or exits leading towards the South China Sea, and 6 entrances that are just they were leading to the village, or like just above ground. 3rd floor. What? Water well.
Oh, there's that.
Bathroom. How to take a shit.
That's why apartments.
Apartments.
You're sleepy.
Jesus. Man, so people were sleeping in here. So this tunnel system or tunnel network was hosting up to 60 families at once. Apparently up to 4 people were sleeping in these apartments. There we have another exit leading towards the sea. Okay. Yeah. Back to the beginning. We're kind of lost down there. These look like the sleeping places. Check this out. Looks similar to the hostels we sleep in. Damn. So down there you have the drilling bomb shelter. Because the Americans used more advanced bombs that were able to drill into the floor about 10 meters. Right. So this is how people slept here. You can see the newborn baby. About 17 babies were born in these tunnels. This is a massive tunnel network.
It's like this way.
This way?
Door richting het boven komt. Corona.
There's a bat. There you have a guard guarding this entrance here. One of the many entrances. All of these are bomb craters. This is brutal. Look at this. Boom. Over there as well, probably. Look at the size of these craters. It's like at least a 5-meter diameter. Some of them are deeper because of the drilling bombs. So these are the trenches now. You can see them here. That was a proper network that was connecting like house to field, tunnel to tunnel, village to village. And about 2,000 kilometers of trenches that saved many lives. People were even riding bicycles in these trenches here. And there you have another exploded bomb.
So this was it now from the Demilitarized Zone in Vietnam, which became one of the most bombarded regions in history during the Vietnam War.